Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Fly, Eagles fly, you on the team. Touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, Philly time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in. What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, joined by my guy Brandon, as always. And this is Philly the podcast. Now, we have some beautiful guests with us, as always. You know, we like to bring the best of the best, and I think we did that. Now, before I introduce them, even though they need no introduction, in the spirit of what this holiday is, Brandon has been a little bit busy, and it's for a reason. So, Brandon, do you want to spill the beans? Give
yeah, man. I mean, me and my wife are expecting our first child. So hopefully come December, we'll be bringing in a baby with some Eagles playoffs on the horizon.
Okay, welcome to Team No Sleep.
Congratulations, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, thank you.
I ain't ready for the kiddies yet. I ain't got none yet, so I'm taking my time. But more power to y'all, man. That's a blessing.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm taking my time as well. Trust me. We right there with you, Tones. But you know, everybody kept on asking, "Where's Brandon? Where's Brandon?" You know, life is calling. So we got Brandon back. I'm stealing him back, but we at least got a new subscriber on the way because you know we take everyone we get. Now let's talk about the guys we got in here, man. We got the best reporting on the Eagles. We got my man Lord Brunson in the building, and we got Tone DeShields. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me, man.
Same, likewise. I'm grateful.
So, I mean, I'm sure everybody already knows who you guys are, but we'll start with you, Brunson. You guys just introduce yourself, let them know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah, man. It's your boy, man, Lord Brunson, man. You can find me on Instagram at Lord_Brunson, Twitter at Lord_Brunson, and just type in Lord Brunson and your space bar when you get to, YouTube. You'll find me everywhere, man. You know?
All right, and it's your boy Tone DeShields the second from Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You guys, make sure y'all locking on the content. Y'all can find me on YouTube, Tone DeShields the second. The links are available in all my descriptions. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support the merch shop as well, the gear is nice. I'm really grateful for you guys for locking in so far. Also, y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram, DeShields__. As you see it here, DeShields__. Man, I love my Philadelphia Eagles. First things first, I got to say I love what these guys are doing. These guys are doing it at the highest level, and I'm supremely grateful. You know, to be in the presence of great ones for sure, man. Because like one of the first things I said earlier on is, you know, I like, you know, in order to be considered one of the best, in order to be great, you gotta watch people that's doing it on the highest level. If you want to be great, you gotta watch the greats. If you want to be the best, you gotta study the best. So truly grateful for the opportunity to chop it up with you guys, man. I think it's my first time chopping it up with LB officially. So definitely grateful for the opportunity. And y'all know we're gonna get, you know how we get it. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun, man. We're gonna have some fun. We got some stuff we got to talk about, all right? Because nothing's happened, but a lot has been said. I feel like so much has happened already. So I want to start with kind of like the main topic of this whole offseason, and probably going to be the main topic of the whole season. We'll start with you, Brandon. I want to ask about Jalen Hurts, and the specific question I want to ask is, what do you think the bar is? What does he have to reach in order to be, we're starting on fire. We're starting on fire. What do you think the bar is that he has to reach this year to be considered the franchise quarterback moving forward?
Honestly, I think it's an unfair bar. I think that bar is going to have to be making it to the playoffs at minimum. He's into a situation where Carson Wentz was supposed to be that future. He was supposed to be that guy with Doug Peterson, and this whole offseason has been a whirlwind. We lost both of them. We didn't even keep one all season. At the end, we were talking, okay, if one leaves, we got the other. We lost both of them, or they both were fired, whatever it is. So I think Jalen Hurts, unfortunately, this is a year where if he doesn't show out, I mean, we have all those assets next year. We have so many first-round picks. We have money next year. Though that's going to be a time where we can go after one of those disgruntled quarterbacks on another team. Or if we stink it up again and we're in that top 5, top 6 pick again, I could see us trading up for whoever the best quarterback, even if they're not. Even though I keep hearing that next year's draft class isn't the best with quarterbacks, I could still see us being that desperate moving up if Jalen Hurts doesn't show out this season.
Yeah, Brent, so you can take it next.
Oh, okay. So I don't think it's quite playoffs. I don't think the bar is that high. I think the bar is like 500, honestly. Be coming off of 4 wins. If he could look competitive and he could, make sure he understands what games are important and limit the turnovers and get us around 500, I think he's pretty solidified, man. I think he'll make it past next year. The Philadelphia Eagles, man, they like to just always draft quarterbacks, man. At the slightest mistake somebody makes, it seems like another quarterback could be coming in the door. But I believe in this dude's potential, and I think 8-8, he should be safe for at least another year.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny I say that. Brandon said playoff at minimum. Lord Brunson said just a 500 or above 500 record.
I got to get used to that, guys.
No. I feel you though. But I guess for me, it's not necessarily. I don't want to necessarily quantify his success just based off the record because the record is a team is a cumulative stat for the team, right? So because he can do everything right, but the defense can't make a stop, then you can't really blame him for that loss. But nonetheless, for me, in order for Jalen Hurts to really be considered the guy or to be considered the guy beyond this season, he needs to show me every single game, week by week, the improvement, making the decision making. He needs to be able to be the reason we win and not the reason we lose.
Facts.
He just needs to show constant growth in decision making, and also the consistency when it comes to the impact drives. The 2-minute offense. Also, third downs.
Yeah.
How does he react when he's in the 3rd and long situation? Will he rely on his legs? Will he trust the guys in front of him and trust his arm to make a play? For me, it's just mainly seeing him grow as a quarterback because he's only going to be in his sophomore season and he barely had a rookie season. So I feel like just based off of that, he clearly has a lot more room to grow. And the more experience you get in this league, the more you'll be able to make reads and the more pre-snap you'll be able to do just as far as just your bandwidth of, knowing defenses and things of that nature. But for me, I definitely want to – playoffs definitely will easily be the check mark for him to be the guy. But at the same time, knowing this Eagles organization, I'm not even sure if 500 would be it. Just being above 500 would be enough. I think we need to win this division.
Yeah.
I think, and obviously winning the division means playoffs, but, winning the division – right. Winning the division would signify to Harry Roseman that, okay, this guy's legit. And also this roster isn't even complete because when you think about it, we have him under a rookie deal. We need to take advantage of this window in terms of building this roster. I don't think we need to jump out of the window and look at the guys like Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers because those guys are looking for situations where they can win now. This team is unfortunately not ready to win now. Just thinking about the defense and, other holes as well. I definitely think people don't know what's coming when it comes to this offense and defense because Jonathan Gannon is going to do his thing and Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, it's a lot of unknowns on both sides of the ball. But I just believe Jalen Hurts needs to just show that constant development as a decision maker. 2-minute offense, 4-minute offense, third downs. If there's a 4th down situation, what can he do? Goal line, pre-snap, things like that. I need to see improvement on that week by week.
Yeah, facts. And what I said earlier, I was on A2D earlier, and I was honestly, I was just kind of spitballing because there's not much news. So I was kind of just talking out loud. And what I started thinking to myself, I'm like, because I asked myself this question a lot. I've asked Brandon this question a lot. And what I'm coming to is kind of like what Tone was saying, kind of like what all you're saying, to be honest, is almost like Miles Sanders last year, or his rookie year, I should say. Miles Sanders week 1 was not Miles Sanders week 4, week 5. Like he consistently got better. Like I feel like every game you could be like, well, he's got to work on this. He's got to stop running into people's back. The next week he stopped doing that. He's got to be a little bit more patient, stop going side to side. The next week he did that. So if I see that from Jalen Hurts and I see a ceiling, then I'm excited about him. I think that the intangibles are something that they're exactly what they're called. They're intangibles, right? Like you can't teach that stuff. So he has that. Now we got to go see if he can be a top level talent. Now, kind of piggybacking off that and staying on Jalen Hurts, you guys all kind of gave me different answer. You kind of answered it a little bit, but you kind of gave me different answers, which is good. I want to know what is like, how should he be evaluated? Like, because some of you guys are saying, maybe it's the 8-8, maybe it's making the playoffs, maybe it's just week by week. And I don't even want to say how should he. How do you think Howie is realistically going to be evaluating him? Division. I think is the better question.
And the reason why I kept saying like it's really stacked against him is because of the assets. Let's say because the 3 first-round picks is not guaranteed. We have to hope that Carson Wentz can play his 75% of the snaps in order for us to get that first. But let's say we do get that first and we have 3 firsts. I feel like those odds right there are already stacked against Jalen because it seems that Howie's going into that stage where he's fighting for his job. And if he's here another year and can still be around for draft time or be around to make trades in the offseason, then he's going to want to make big moves. We didn't need to really go after another wide receiver in the first round again. We needed to bolster our defense. And it seemed like Howie made a fan kind of pick, like, all right, we're going to go grab the Heisman winner, another wide receiver, because we know that we need some wide receivers, but we also know our defense is not good, and we could have used the Micah Parsons. We could have used a corner. So when it comes to Jalen Hurts, it's like if he doesn't – like if his, let's say, touchdown to interception ratio is right there neck and neck, it's nothing crazy, but it's also like maybe like top 10 in the league or top 15. He's toward the 15th-ish. I still think we would still try to get another quarterback next year. That's why I think this it's stacked up against him, in my opinion.
I think one of the only ways you can evaluate him is on decision making, though. You really can't go off the record, which is why I said 8-8. Because look at Deshaun Watson. Everybody wanted to tell me all offseason how special he was, but I'm like, my man is 4-12. My man is 4-12, and it's multiple times with him with all those stats and him having a record 4-12 where he had the ball in his hand, last minute drive. This is the stuff you get paid for against division opponents. I think we only can evaluate him truthfully and honestly on decision making. Because are you going to stand there like a deer in the headlights during 3rd down and bring us to a 4th down and we got a kick? Or are you going to try to make something happen with your legs? Are you going to be smart in those situations? I think. Listen, man. I think we got us one, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I think we got us.
I already see the hat. I see the hat.
Shout out to LB.
Yeah, hey man. Hey, I appreciate you, Tone. Listen, man. I think we got us one, man.
Listen, you know what? To just building off of that, I tend to lean towards what LB is saying for the simple fact that I believe 60 to 70% of the quarterback position is leadership and decision making. Mm-hmm. Like when you think about Tom Brady, he never came in the most talented, but what separated him throughout the years was his decision making, his pre-snaps, his ability to find ways to win and make people better and believe in what he's doing. I think that's something Jalen Hurts can, and I'm not putting him Tom Brady level. That's not what I'm doing. I'm simply just saying when you think about what Jalen Hurts already brings to the table right now as a second-year player, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to his presence, there's people like you see these press conferences, you hear people talk about him. They say when he comes in a room, you feel him. You know why he's here. You know what he came to do. And I believe that these players are galvanizing around that. Unfortunately, it's no mistake or it's no random sighting that the team last year all of a sudden remember how to play football when he came on the field. Facts. You can't understate that. And this ain't got nothing to do with CW11. This ain't got nothing to do with him. But my thing is Jalen Hurts has something. And when I don't have to teach you leadership or teach you presence or teach you commitment and everything, the only thing that's left really is just to work on your mechanics and your fundamentals, which he's been doing ever so aggressively throughout the offseason and working with Quincy Avery and having Brian Johnson coming in the building, somebody he's very familiar with, that knows what makes him tick. Having a guy like Nick Sirianni as well that's very competitive, that's going to try to pull the most out of him. I believe Jalen Hurts is truly poised to really become a really good, if not great quarterback. And we all know Philadelphia's history with black quarterbacks as well. That's just our reality. When you think about Randall Cunningham, you think about Donovan McNabb, you think about Michael Vick. We was able to flip Michael Vick and turn him into a, you know what I mean? Michael Vick did his thing in his offense. And granted, that was more so the Andy Reid era. But my point is, though, I really believe Jalen Hurts has all the intangibles. He has all the tools to be great. He has the mobility. He has the leadership. He has the commitment to the game. He has the poise. Now, sure, you want to nitpick his game, the throwing power. Okay, whatever. He's not throwing 80-yard bombs every play, so relax.
Facts.
Then, you want to maybe nitpick the accuracy. Okay, he came into a turbulent situation last year where nobody was on the same page. Nobody had technique. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be the true needle, to move when it comes to this offense, especially with Jalen Hurts involved. We lacked technique and fundamentals last year, and I think that's another reason why a lot of guys got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it like this: when you lift weights, right? People say there's a right and wrong way to lift weights. There's form required. There's technique. You can't just lift weights. People say lift with your knees. There's a strategy behind it. I believe a lot of these guys were just playing football. They weren't really playing fundamental football. They weren't sticking to their and working on their technique. And that's why a lot of guys was getting hurt. Ticky-tack injuries. You know what I'm saying? So I really believe Jalen Hurts has strong potential to really grow in this offense. And I really need Howie Roseman. That's the sad part. Howie Roseman's in a position, like you said, he's fighting for his job as well. So my fear is that self-preservation is going to start to become paramount. And then at that point, you start making irrational decisions just because, the heat is getting hot in the kitchen. When in reality, trust your process. No pun intended. Trust your process. Understand that we have get, as you do any other time, get Jeffrey Lurie to believe in your vision. And at that point, say, listen, we got this kid under a rookie contract for the next 3 seasons. Give me an opportunity to fortify this roster, and I bet you we'll be in the playoffs.
Yes, it's such a hard position. And I'm not over here being, I'm not pacifying Howie Roseman at all. I'm not giving him out on this, but they're in a tough position too, because the one thing I'm the most afraid of is not being terrible, and obviously it's not being great. The one thing I'm most afraid of is that lull, that middle spot. Not really knowing who we are. If Jalen Hurts, God forbid, knock on wood, if Jalen Hurts gets hurt early in the season, we're kind of screwed. What do we do? Do we just go ahead and take a shot on a quarterback now because we don't know? I'm so afraid, and I want Jalen Hurts to be great. You know what I'm saying? And I want all these players to be great, but there's so many questions, and that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. We're going to find out. But that brings me to this question, and this is kind of the last thing I want to say about Jalen Hurts or ask is, do you feel, although there are many questions, we can't really answer all those questions till we see it out on the field. Right. Do you, at least on paper, feel we did enough to help Jalen Hurts perform at the level that he needs to win that job?
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to real quick on how LB was saying his decision-making. You can kind of compare it to a Teddy Bridgewater. It's kind of tough because one of his positives is that he's great decision-making. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, but now he's a journeyman in this league. And that's why I feel like that leash is so tight on Jalen, because even if he just makes good decisions, but those decisions may be oh, he's not turning the ball over, but we're not getting that first down. There's different things. So I feel like there's a lot going on with this team right now. But to go back to your question, Joe, in a sense we did. We have to see what the new coaches do, right? We have to see what Nick Sirianni's offense is. Is Nick Sirianni, when we're down 14, is he going to just pass, and this is the second quarter, and not get back to the run game and really mess up this whole thing for Jalen? There's a lot of intervals into it. Is our offensive line going to be healthy? There's a lot. But if our offensive line is healthy, top 5 in the league. If our wide receivers like Jalen Reagor can step up, you got Devontae Smith, if he's everything that he's supposed to be, and a couple of other unknown guys that are really trying to prove their name in this league, really fight for it, that's when the Eagles Nation, I feel like Philly is at its best, is when we're underestimated and no one's really looking at us. This year, everyone's saying we're probably going to be last in the division and no one's really looking at us, and I think that's when we're really going to show out. So I do think with Miles Sanders getting better, if our offensive line can stay healthy, and with this mixed bag of wide receivers, I think we can do some work with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I think they absolutely did enough for him in the offseason. Look, you come out and then you jump the Giants and get the Heisman winner. Come on, man. Who happens to be a wide receiver?
You
And his best
bypass
friend.
You bypass Justin Fields. Quarterback staring you all in your face. You got picks. You got room to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You pass Mac Jones, who I think is probably the best quarterback in this draft class. Like, I'm gonna have to revisit that one. But you pass him. You pass Fields. You go get your wide receiver, and then look what you do with your second pick. With your second pick, you bring in probably the nastiest offensive lineman in the draft. So you get a wide receiver, you beef up the offensive line, and now you're talking about having competition with this other giant. The offensive line looking crazy. They didn't break up the Super Bowl winners. They kept the bloodline of the offense together, which is the offensive line. And then you drop this quarterback in the middle who seemed to make things out of nothing. Now you give him more. I think he's going to be setting. I think he's setting up, man, to put on a show.
Yeah, I'm excited. Real quick before you go, Tone, let me just shout out. Shout out to my guy Mike over there at the Philly Talk podcast with the $4 super chat. Staying fly, Eagles fly, just showing love. I appreciate that. You know I'm gonna come through your
Mike,
chat
what up?
once he's I think he's doing a live for the Brooklyn game tonight. So you know I'm gonna have to come and talk my junk. But go ahead, Tone. My bad.
No, you're all good, man. Yeah, like I agree with all these guys. I think they've definitely done a solid job in surrounding him with competent enough talent to make sure he can succeed. And I think they've even made the decisions to show that, okay, we're gonna ride this out and see what happens. You know, like LB said, Justin Fields was staring them in the face.
Yeah.
They could have picked him. Mac Jones was even on there. They could have picked him if they wanted to reach for him, and they didn't. So all the decision making is aligning with Jalen Hurts is the guy for now. Drafted Devontae Smith. Obviously, moving on from CW11, you think about them constantly fortifying their offensive line, even though that's something that they do naturally. But them going wide receiver, then offensive lineman, first and second round, those are quarterback friendly decisions. And then you think about what they did with picking up Kenny Gainwell, a running back who's very multidimensional. Also, they went, even though they didn't draft a lot of wide receivers, they picked up two more. They picked up a few more in the undrafted pool. So they're trying to surround him with a large enough sample size of talent to the point where eventually, by way of Nick Sirianni's methodology, which is competition, the cream will rise to the top, and the best guys will eventually be on that field come week one. So I firmly believe Jalen Hurts has the two. Now everyone's young, everyone's green. Everyone's very green. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But I definitely believe the talent is there. You think about a guy like Devontae Smith. Clearly, by far, even by way of my man Gate City, shout out to him, the best route runner in this draft. Yes. The best route runner in the draft. The best when it comes to those slants, those short routes as well. He's so multi-dimensional. You can move him in so many different ways. And then we're expecting big things from Jalen Reagor this season. We're expecting him to take that next step. It's unfortunate about Jalen Reagor from last season. That's another conversation. But we're expecting him to take a next step. And best believe, Devontae Smith's presence, just him being in that wide receiver room, those guys are paying attention. They understand the Heisman Trophy winners came in this building.
Exactly.
We all know this now.
Giants fans know too. Giants fans know.
Yeah, definitely know.
They know.
They got a shrine in their closet right now.
Listen, they know.
The Giants fans kill me. The Giants fans kill me because they wanted him. And they love they tried to flip the script so quick. Oh yeah, we ain't want him. Y'all.
I'll say this much. I hate Cowboys fans, don't get me wrong, but I expect them to talk out their butt every year.
Yeah.
Where the heck did these Giants fans come from? Like,
listen,
you win one game and all of a sudden
they're different, man. They are different, man. They are different. The whole time it really was them. The whole time we had Dallas wrong. We need to switch Dallas in our minds it was the Giants. The whole time we should have had this undying demise for. It was them.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad that we jumped them. Now
I'm glad they exposed themselves because I'm not gonna let the grip go on them.
Facts. Yeah, that video you put out on me was hilarious.
You guys,
what was the dude called Carpizzle that was snapping?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't act like you didn't want that man because
he's honest though. He's honest. He
no, not him.
Yeah.
But because his reaction was raw. Like much respect to him. But when you think about all the other fans who tried to front on DeVonta Smith, y'all drafted a wide receiver with your next pick. Y'all traded back and then got a wide receiver, Kadarius Toney. So that tells me
Arguably
y'all
a reach.
I personally say it's a reach because you have Rashad Bateman on the board still. You know what I mean? So you had Elijah Moore still on the board to me. So I feel like those two wide receivers are better than Kadarius Toney. But nonetheless, to each his own, we got our guy.
True.
What you guys say, brother?
Real quick before we move off from Jalen Hurts, I know that's where we're going in this direction, but we had Carson Wentz throw to Ertz, and that was the connection there. Who do you guys think is going to be Jalen Hurts, like number one guy on this team?
That's a good question. That's a very
honestly. Good question. I think it's going to be. That's tough because if Greg Ward was to get more time, I think it would be Greg Ward. I honestly feel like that's going to be his guy, but I think he's going to force it to Rager. I think he's going to make Rager his guy.
Yeah,
I think he's going to make Rager his guy. Rager ain't gonna have no choice. The ball's gonna be hitting him so clean in the hands. It's even like if you drop it, that's on you. I think he's gonna force him to be his guy.
He's gonna be handing it off 30 yards down the field. I feel like I want to see it be Goddard. I feel like Goddard can be that guy because we've seen him do the screens. We've seen him, go run routes. We've seen him do everything that you'd ask a wide receiver to do. And, from what you can read of what Nick Sirianni might be bringing to this team, those screen games are going to be in effect. So I'm hoping that he's going to be a big factor in that. I agree. Greg Ward, I feel like Greg Ward and him had a real good connection last year, even. Greg Ward has a good connection with me. I mean, Greg Ward, you just put him out on the field. That guy's he's gonna make plays. So I think he's an option. I'm gonna say DeVonta Smith though. I really think, that connection, that friendship, I really think he's gonna look at DeVonta and be like, like the first face of franchise when he looked at you and was like, yo, throw me the bomb to Colt. I think that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, just trust me. And I think they're gonna have that trust. So
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, he got Smitty with him. He got people that he played with. You got Rager trying to make a name for himself. It could be anybody, man.
The boys is hungry, man. The boys is hungry. Like,
right. It could be anybody.
If I had to choose, really, I think I'll probably go between. I'm torn between DeVonta Smith and Dallas Goedert. I'm torn between those two guys because your security blanket is usually that tight end. He runs those routes that just he just finds a way to get open. Dallas Goedert, he's a very underrated route runner. Very underrated.
We talk about proving yourself. I mean, Dallas Goedert
got crazy hands.
Yeah, and Dallas Goedert's in a situation where let's not forget he's a second-round pick. There's no fifth-round option or fifth-year option with him.
Contract year.
This is it for him. Like, if we don't sign him in the beginning of the year, which I think we probably will, but if we don't do that, he's going to be playing for his money. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I think all these guys are hungry. That's the beautiful thing. We are all hungry. So let's talk because you did bring up Zach Ertz. Yeah, you did bring up Zach Ertz. So I want to bring this up. Now, I feel like we've all individually talked about this, but I feel like we've talked about what's happening. I'm going to get a little, I'm going to get the little violin out, and I want to know how you actually feel about this. Like, because personally, and I'm going to jump off the ledge first. Personally, I'm starting to feel like Ertz is a little bit extra with this. Like, I feel like if it's all on Ertz that he just wants to leave, I'm feeling a little bit of a type of way. Because, if it's just money, I don't understand it. If it's respect, I get it. But, like, I don't want to say this is like a Carson Wentz situation, but it's getting in that territory where nobody's talking. And I just don't know if I did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just how do you guys feel about it? We know what's going on and what might happen, but let's cry for a second.
I guess I'll start. I'll be honest, like it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little bit because I'm a big Zach Ertz fan. And the thing about Zach Ertz is he became a man in the city. He became him and our Julie Ertz, World Cup champion, shout out to her. They grew in the city. They became a part of the fabric of the city. He is a Philadelphia Eagle. And it's like, it just shames me that it's just a shame to me that, this is what it's come to. If, like you said, if it is about respect, every dog is due respect, and I'm big on respect. Forget the money. If you just don't respect me, forget the check. I'm out the door. But if it's not necessarily about the respect, it's more so about the money. It's like, well, dude, they tried to give you a contract a couple times, and you wanted Travis Kelce money or George Kittle money or Austin Hooper money. And my thing is, what that was, Austin Hooper was younger than you, potentially has a higher ceiling, maybe, potentially. You think about George Kittle, younger than you, definitely has a higher ceiling, better than you right now. Travis Kelce, I think you guys are about the same age, but Travis Kelce just does things you don't do. So, so it's like, I understand, Zach Ertz, you broke the tight end reception record, but that's because Carson Wentz didn't know anybody else. And but at the same time, I don't want to take nothing away from his legacy, given the fact that he caught the game winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. I have a authentic Super Bowl 52 Zach Ertz jersey. Like I love this guy, man, and it's a shame that this is what it's come to. But I'm about this team more than anything. Okay. And the last thing we need as content creators, as a fan base, as a city, the last thing we need is another distraction. We need everybody to be on the same accord. And right now it seems like as though the only person that's not on the same accord is Zach Ertz. And I think Howie Roseman needs to find a way, and I believe he's probably waiting on a situation where he can fix the team because they're dealing with an injury maybe. But I think it's about time we move on from this man as soon as possible. I don't want this to carry over into the season because we're starting to turn the page in this chapter of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're entering this new era. And my thing is, if you're not with us, you're against us at this point.
Yeah, facts.
I say, pay man his bag. They should have been paid him his bag that he wanted, man. It's disrespect. How you gonna disrespect somebody like Zach Ertz? Let's think about who we talking about for a while now. We talking about the only guy we had in the last 8 years that commanded the respect of the opposing defense. We never had no wide receiver do nothing like that since T.O. We ain't had no running back do nothing like that since T.O. Zach Ertz was the guy on the offense that you had to stop, whether if Carson Wentz was in the game or not. You talking about a guy from the tight end position that led the team in receiving yards 5 years, 4 years? He was the number one weapon on this team. So I don't give a damn really what Kelce can do or Kittle, what they could do. My man was the third best. He need third best bread. You talking about at this point in time, Zach Ertz was the third best tight end. That was the only highlight we could say we had for a very long time is that we had Zach Ertz. Come on, we can't forget about this guy like that. I said they should have paid him his bread. And right now I feel like that, okay, you ain't paying him his bread. Don't try to trade him. Let him play his last year out so he can still prove that he got it and be a security blanket for our young quarterback. We can use a Zach Ertz. We don't know what we're getting out of a lot of these guys we got on the roster right now. But we know what we're getting out of Zach Ertz. If he got a good offensive line and if he's healthy. A guy that broke his ribs for the city in to get us to the playoffs? That's the disrespect.
No, you're right.
See, and I'm right there with LB, man. Like, they should have paid him. Like you said, he's been like that dude. And even Tone, when you were saying that Carson Wentz only threw to him, and that's why he broke the record. You gotta remember, Carson Wentz I don't even think he finished the season. So Nick Foles had to go ahead and give him his touches.
That's true.
Great point.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that aspect. Good point.
So he demanded the respect of any quarterback that played, and he was able to do that. And people talk about he fell off last year. Like you said, he gave up his rib, and then he didn't get an extension. What's he going to do? Go get hurt again?
Exactly.
End up like some other players.
That's a good point. I never put it in that perspective. Like, I'm not about to go break another rib. Y'all ain't even paying.
It's all business. And if teams can go ahead and do whatever they want with these players, no matter which, if it's a quarterback, tight end, defensive end, whatever, the players can do the business card too. And if he's looking out for himself, his family, his wife, then so will be it. I mean, like Tone said, if you're not with us, you're against us when the season starts. It is what it is. But I'll still have love for Zach Ertz. It's different. Zach Ertz is different than Carson Wentz. The Zach Ertz situation, I kind of get. Carson was a little weird and crazy, but Zach Ertz, I get.
Yeah, and the thing about Zach, and the thing about Zach is like I said, he became a man in the city, and he's somebody that I've grown fond of. Like, literally, like he was the offense at one point. He commanded double teams. He was the only threat in the past several years who commanded a double team regularly because he was such a crisp. Honestly, I would say he's a better route runner than all those tight ends we mentioned. A better pure route runner. Maybe they got him with the yak yards, and maybe they got him with the brute force and athleticism. But when it comes to pure route running, just being able to get open, not being the fastest guy, oh yeah, he's that dude. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely don't want to make it come off as if I don't value that guy. I want that guy to get as much money as he possibly can because I'm more so I believe, like you said, Brandon, these guys, these organizations treat it like a business, so these players should treat it like a business as well. I kind of like the NBA model more than the NFL model, whereas though these players are more so in control of their destinies, and I can't get mad at that. You know, I'm an Eagles fan still, but I'm never gonna be mad at a guy trying to get his money because at the end of the day, he earned. He fought to get here. He tried. He earned it. You know, listen, I'm with all of that, man. I'm about anybody getting their coin.
Your boy CW, what were you calling him? CDW, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah,
he might have started that whole NBA trend now because he
I don't even say his name no more, man.
Yeah. I don't even. I was just telling my girl, I was like, bro, I got a T-shirt, I have 2 jerseys. What am I supposed to do? Like, what do I do with all this stuff? Like, I don't have bonfires. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not really a jersey guy, man. I was thinking about getting Carson Wentz jersey. Like, I got a few Eagles jerseys, but I don't buy the new guys for a while. I'm just still stuck on my Vic. I'm just still stuck a little bit like on my Vic and like, you know what I mean? My T.O.s. Exactly. Selleck was my guy. For the you know what I mean? Like last game I went to, I think I had like a Hollis Thomas jersey on. Like I'm stuck back in them times because these new dudes, man, they be out of here, man, like a week.
We should have had you on. Brandon just interviewed Hollis Thomas.
Oh, that would have been dope, yo.
Yeah, he literally just did. Shout out to my guy Birdman951. He has a great channel as well. He's doing some great interviews. He said, "Great show, guys. Just win the division and we in." Thank you very much for that super chat. So yeah, I mean, I agree with all you guys. I love Zach Ertz. You know, if I'm taking the name off of his back of his jersey, I will say he's not necessarily where the NFL is headed as far as tight ends go, but his value is still there. So I definitely agree. I definitely agree with all you guys. Now, I want to do a quick little rapid fire thing, and then I got one last question, and we're going to get the heck out of here. So what I want to do is I want to just basically ask you, would you consider this? Okay. I want to know because a lot of people are throwing out a lot of random rumors and a lot of, hey, let's trade this guy. Let's trade that guy. So I'm going to say some of the big names that I've seen, and you guys just quickly, yes or no, and why, you know? So the first person I want to talk about is Fletcher. Would you trade Fletcher Cox, and why or why not?
No. I was
waiting for somebody to say it. Everybody was just
right. No, I'm not trading him. I think the situation with Fletcher Cox is, you know, we look at the stat line and we like, oh, he should be looking like Aaron Donald. When very few people are going to look like that. Fletcher Cox commands a double team. What you need to do with Fletcher Cox is get somebody next to him that could consistently beat one-on-one coverage. That's what you need to do for Cox. You know what I mean? Because Jernigan couldn't do it. I think Malik Jackson could do it, but the injury slowed him down. We need Hargrave to beat a man one-on-one. And then you're going to see the real value of Cox because he's taking on 2 people.
Right. So I was the reason why I paused because I thought about it for a split second. Thought about it for a split second because of
still think about it.
Age, and who knows if Milton can go ahead and be this new athletic showcomer, kind of like an Aaron Donald Jr. that we joked about.
Yeah.
But no, we can't trade him because we saw what happened last year when we played Dallas. Once he was out with an injury, all of a sudden, boom, it was a wrap. Our defensive line couldn't do anything. It looked like their offensive line was in practice mode at that point when Fletcher Cox went out. So because of that alone, I know he demands, like LB was saying, he demands that double team. And hopefully these younger guys can eat. I know Derek Barnett, he's going to want to eat. This is his time to earn a big contract after this year. So he's going to want to eat. I know Brandon Graham's getting a little up there in age, but Josh Sweat's going to want to eat. And like you said, Javon Hargrave has to prove himself. So, we can't get rid of him just yet.
Yeah, you know, after hearing those guys speak, you can't get rid of him.
we was able to change your mind that Dallas flashback.
No, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You can't get rid of him for the simple fact that we've seen with like Brandon, like LB said, we've seen with the defense, we've seen with the defensive line how they play without him versus when he's there. There's a completely different. It's like it's like we go from a D2 team from being an NFL caliber team to like a D2 defensive line. It's insane. It's insane how bad the drop off is because he commands double team, because he is such a stout run defender. I believe that's an underrated trait of his. Like the fact that he's able to legitimately and faithfully and regularly stop the run. You run anywhere of a quarter of an inch near that man. He reaching for you, and you coming with him no matter where he go. Now, you know, LB mentioned the whole stat line thing about, you know, Sag saying comparing to Aaron Donald. You're absolutely right about the Aaron Donald fact, because Aaron Donald, he's a freak. He's a freak. He's an undersized, like he's somebody. He's undersized. So it's like
He's a Milton Williams. He's a Milton Williams in the making.
For him to do the things he does, with his size, it's just unheard of. And you can't really compare those guys. They play the position very differently. Just because they're both D tackles, that doesn't mean their job is very simple. Their job isn't simple. They play the position differently. Aaron Donald, he's a lot more finesse. Whereas he has a ball rush, but he's a lot more finesse, a lot more speed. Whereas the Fletcher Cox is more so he more so plugs the hole. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. But here's the thing, though. I wouldn't do it, but if they did do it, I would understand why. Does that make sense?
That's my thing. This is what I say, and I know everybody's gonna hate me for this, and that's fine. I'm used to it right now. Look, if we suck, you get the value out of everybody you can. I don't care. Like, if we are terrible, if we are trash, you go out there and get that value, because next year he's not going to bring you more value. Next year, and this brings me to my next point. I'm going to bring these two I'm going to kind of mash these two together because I feel like they're one and the same. Would you trade Brandon Brooks or Lane Johnson? And real quick, I'm going to answer that kind of the same way I'll answer it with the Fletcher Cox. If you can get the same or slightly worse from your backup, and we suck, I say you have to get the value. I say, like, if Jack Driscoll can go in there and be your right tackle and you feel solid with him going forward, like with the future, I say you have to get the value. And this is if we suck. I'm not saying, let's derail a playoff run to just get value out of guys. I'm saying if we're not going to make the playoffs, you see at week 6, week 7, we're 0-5, 1, whatever it is. I was going to throw in a tie in there just because I get petty. But, like, if we see that we're not good, I feel like you have to start looking at what value you have on the team. So that's what I'll say. But, I know it's an unpopular opinion, and it sucks seeing your favorite players go. But I just feel like we're in that spot.
And that's what I'm leaning more towards, just the simple fact that if we're not good, if we're not competitive, then what's the point of having those big contracts? Damn, they shooting fireworks outside? But anyway, but nonetheless, you can't have those kind of contracts on your roster and you're not competitive yet. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't do that to yourself because you're not prepared to do anything with it. So, like I said, I wouldn't trade Fletcher Cox. I wouldn't trade Brandon Brooks. I wouldn't trade Lane Johnson. Like my man Bree Brooks said in his press conference, when I tore my Achilles, when I came back, I was the best. I was the best, and he was the best. See, I love when my guys talk greasy like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love when my guys, get down with the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? So if we did trade those guys, I wouldn't do so. But if we did, barring the circumstances, I would understand why. So that's how I'm approaching it.
Now, the last question I want to ask you guys, this is the last thing we're going to end it up on this. I want to ask you, and take your time. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with us. What is a successful season in your opinion? Like, do you? And I'm asking your opinion, not what it'll take for Jalen Hurts, what it'll take for this guy. What at the end of the year will you sit there and say, I'm okay with that. I'm cool with what happened.
Division at the minimum for me. If you can win a division after winning 4 games and get you a home playoff win, and Jalen Hurts is your guy that whole way, that's success to me. I like that.
I hear that. And just a quick go back real quick. If you end up trading either Lane Johnson or Brandon Brooks, you figure Jason Kelsey is retiring pretty soon. Your offensive line will be in shambles at that point.
It's a brand new O-line, yeah.
But I guess obviously better than last season. Last year, I feel like was the worst season I've ever experienced, even though we've had, I'm pretty sure, a 4-win season before. But it was the fact that we were in it every week because the rest of the division was still trash. It was just like it never gave us a chance to be like, we suck, we're not doing anything. It was like, but if we win, we're going to the playoffs. So I'm going to have to agree with LB. I think winning this division, and obviously with winning the division gets you to the playoffs. I think we did make some good moves with the Anthony Harris sign. I think that's a big upgrade over Jalen Mills right there. Eric Wilson can come in and be a leader on that defense, and he knows Gannon as well. And I feel like all these, and once again, I feel like I'm falling in the trap of young guys on social media just talking, hearing the coaches talk, and how everything sounds good in June. Obviously, we got a couple months to see. We got to see preseason and everything. But I think we have a solid team to really go out there and compete. And being an underdog is really, really going to help us.
Yeah, I agree with all you guys. Division.
My man took his glasses off for this. This got real. This got real.
Division or bust, man.
My man said, "Hold up."
Division or bust, man. Like, especially that just makes our jobs a lot easier when it comes to dealing with these Cowboys, watch the football team, and these Giants. It makes our jobs a lot easier just on that front. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, like individual players aside, team success to the forefront. Winning the division will definitely signify to me we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm with you guys 100%. Win this division. I don't care if it's the only 8 games you win this year. Win this division. That's all I care about. Obviously, if we're better than that, then awesome. I'm gonna love it, but I think that's where I set my bar. But we still have 53 people in here. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe. Go check out my man's Tone Shields. Go check out my guy Lord Brunson if you haven't already. I don't know what rock you're living in if you haven't checked my guy out already. And definitely go check out the Michael Jaquette interview, because I feel like that was a really good interview and it needs to get more love. But I don't pat myself on the back.
Real quick.
But I'm gonna do that real quick.
I'm gonna pat you on the back, brother.
Right. I gotta pat you on the back.
Yeah,
man.
You be biding these conversations, bro. You and Brandon be going in.
Right.
That Derek Gunn, I would never let y'all lay that Derek Gunn interview down. That one is one of my favorites for sure.
I was in the car listening to the Derek Gunn interview. Almost had to pull him up, like, oh shit, okay.
I want to say one thing. It's funny how everything comes full circle. I know we have this is how I ended, but we have a lot of content creators in here. AK Eagles, Philly Foothills. We have a lot of people that I know have channels. I want to say, and this is maybe it's embarrassing, but I really don't care. When I first started, I literally reached out to Lord Brunson just for him to shout me out and check my channel out. And now this is, I think, the second or third time I've worked with LB. I remember everything.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did. You did. No, you did. But I want to
forget,
because I feel like so many people watch and they put people on pedestals. I feel like we're all very normal people, and I feel like this is a very accomplishable goal. So I just feel like people needed to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's
been my energy since day one, man. Like almost everybody that reached out to me got a channel. So I guess what I'm telling them when they reach out to me makes them want to, pursue what they want to do even more. They be like, "What do I need to do this?" I'd be like, "Your phone."
Exactly.
You got a phone, right? I'd be like, "Your phone."
Your phone.
Bro, I make videos outside on the lawn. Listen, your phone, bro.
I be at work in the.
So what you waiting for?
I be at work in the cubicle, like.
Right.
Hey, listen, chalk it up. Listen, like my thing is, man, it's like if you want to do it, you're gonna do it. It's really that simple.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember, similar to your point, Philly. I didn't necessarily say shout me out, but it was more so like I think LB was doing one of his lunchtime with the bullies. You know what I mean? And one of the first things I said, I think I said it. These are my exact words. I said, "You're a big dog. I love what you do. I'm taking notes." That's I'm
really the only comments I see. Like people say the craziest stuff to me, bro. I'm always able to sift through and find a positive comment, so I can respond to it. Now, if I'm on another time, then I see the other ones, but I usually just see the positive ones, man.
You definitely saw that one because she was like, "Yeah, bro, keep doing what you're doing." Blah blah blah. Like, it's really important for. It's really important for people to exercise that freedom to create, man. I'm real big on that. I'm real big on us, like not just doing our own thing, but also just just showing genuine love, showing real love. Like I'm real big on that, man. And so far throughout doing this content, man. Philly, Brandon, LB, so many other content creators, Joey Shakes, Philly, Mike, Gate City. I can go on and on. Philly Notion. Next out west, there's just so many of us to even mention and count. God forgive me, Lord, forgive me if I mention your name, but like it's just the fact that I'm just getting so much genuine love, genuine Philly 500. That man, Philly 500 really
that's
cool.
My dog right there.
Philly 500, like I don't know if y'all know this, and I ain't gonna go ramble too long, but Philly 500 was the camel that what is it? The starter brought the camels back for me. He the one that sent me over the hump. One day it was third day of the draft. And, I'm doing my live stream. We're hanging out. I had about 20 people on the stream. We kicking the third day of the draft. It was like 4 or 5 hours. You know how long the draft is. So next thing you know, my feed, my stream just started getting flooded. I mean, like it went from 20 to 40 to 60. I'm like, well, I'm like, yo, did I break something? Like, I'm like, yo, what's up? So next thing you know, people saying, yo, Philly 500 raid. I'm like, oh, so that 500 sent y'all? They said, yeah, 500 sent us. So eventually people was like, yo, you should link with 500. I said, yo, if you send me the link, I'm with it. I'll drop this right now and I'm over there. So 500 sent me the link. Man, him rocked out to the end of the draft, bro. When that live stream started, I was at like 800 or like 900, something like that. 500 pushed me to like 1.2K, bro, 1.3K, and like in less than 8 hours, less than 5 hours, bro. I'm sitting here like, is this real? Like I had to sleep.
Happening, man.
I had to sleep on it. So I'm just so blessed to come across the people I came across, and just humbled to be, liking to guys like Philly, liking to guys like Brandon, liking to guys like LB. Like I say, I'm always taking notes, and you never get too deep, you never get too successful to just learn and pay attention and grow.
But see, this is what people also don't understand. Like I take notes too. The subscriber count might be different, but I watch everything. I watch what everybody's doing. You know what I mean? I'm like half the time when y'all talking, I forget that I'm a part of the stream. So you guys are talking, and I'm like, oh, he's talking that shit like I'm in my car. then somebody asks a question, I'm like, oh damn, I gotta say something. I'm you know what I mean? That happens to me all the time, especially because I only do stuff with people that I admire. You know what I'm saying? That's the only. You're never gonna see me doing nothing crazy, man, with nobody. You know what I mean? If I ain't get to you yet, I just say, listen, I'll be busy, man. But,
right, you got some people upset with that comment.
no, that's what I'm saying, man. If I ain't get to you, then I just be busy, and I'm trying to fit everybody in. But listen, man, I only do stuff with people that I admire. So if I said I'm going to get to you, I admire you. If I ignored you, it was a rainy day outside.
Silence is a very loud language. Silence is one of the loudest languages.
That man is still going to
run. But listen, guys, I do appreciate you guys so much. And since I probably won't speak to you tomorrow, Brunson, happy Father's Day. God bless. You know what I'm saying? It is an honor to have you on here. The Shield's here next. And again, man, we have 50 people in here, so I need 50 congratulations to my man Brandon, because next year I will be saying Happy Father's Day to him. So I'm very happy for him, very proud.
Man, happy Father's Day to Brandon. Now we put that energy in the universe, man. Happy Father's Day to my man Brandon, man. Happy Father's Day, big time.
There you go. But definitely be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.